guess nobody ever told you. All you must hold on to is you, is you, is you. One day he gon' say you crowding my space. One day he gon' say you crowding my space. I said one day he gon' say you crowding my space. One day he gon' say you crowding my space. So backlight, backlight. Ooh, ooh, backlight. Backlight. Ooh, ooh. Okay. That was Erykah Badu, Bag Lady, of course. I'm not Erykah Badu, but let me tell you, that is one of my greatest jams. And of course, it is on topic for today's elorasong, Delightful Insight. Thank you so much for joining me today, but we are excited about exposing joy in the journey. Thank you so much for joining me. And as usual, if this video resonates with you or you feel the vibe, feel free to subscribe, like, or simply share this video. So I got a surprise for y'all at the end of this video. Forgot to mention that. Hope you enjoy it. So moving into the topic, I wanted to talk about self-forgiveness. Our last video, I kind of grazed over it just a little bit, but yes, I definitely want to talk about it today. Self-forgiveness. And even though Bag Lady, the song, is really focused about relationships or a relationship with a man and, a woman having carrying a load of, baggage, a lot of baggage from past experiences or having issues with detachment or being attached rather to the man in her life. I want to talk about how this song kind of speaks to me in terms of just simply letting go and practicing self-forgiveness, because guess what? It's not just the relationships, our intimate relationships that are affected. It's every area of our lives that are affected, right? So for me personally, self-forgiveness is a process. I'm learning that there have been certain areas of my life where I was quick to forgive myself, and in others it took a while because I had a lot of regrets. I was holding on to, coulda, shoulda, wouldas. I wish I had done this. I wish I hadn't done that. See, Loris, you shouldn't have done this. I mean, it was a lot of negative self-talk that a lot of people talk about, talking bad upon myself and the decisions I made at that time. But what I'm learning still is that sometimes those decisions are based on the information I had at the time or some unresolved stuff, whether it be childhood, military life, corporate America, some interaction I had with a certain person, whether it be intimate relationship in terms of friendship, romance. All those things affect my decisions in the present, right? But if certain things haven't been resolved and I haven't looked at my part and my behaviors and said, you know what, it's okay, E, it's all right. You did what you had to do at that time based off of what you knew about yourself at that time, I'm not gonna progress. I'm not going to evolve until I look at those things that those patterns or the certain behaviors that I have. So looking at some notes that I wrote down. Of course, there are certain experiences like trauma and all that that we may go through, financial discourse, family matters. I mean, everyone has something, illness, mental health, all kinds of stuff that we all go through, right? But there's some things that we can control and some things we cannot control. But the things that I can control is basically making sure I don't repeat those same behaviors. And sometimes, look, y'all, for me, this is why I journal so much, because I love journaling, as most of you already know, but I love journaling simply because when I look back on my life, I can go back 6 months, 3 months, 3 days even, and I can see for myself from my thought patterns or the way I'm writing or what I'm writing about, what was a priority in my life. And not only that, but also about how my behaviors affect my day-to-day actions, my day-to-day experiences. And if I see something that I did 6 months ago, 2 years ago, and it's almost line by line, it's almost parallel. The only difference are maybe the players in the game, which I mean is the people that I'm interacting with, or it might be a different place I'm living in, or those things might have changed, but the situation resembles itself. And so it makes me go, okay, God. So I'm simply repeating this experience, simply to see if, or let's put it like this, I'm given the opportunity to make a different decision. That's what it is, right? Uh, yeah, just that ha moment. Okay, so anyway, so self-forgiveness, going back to that, self-forgiveness allows me to lighten my load. So after I finally do the work, now mind you, a lot of people, I know you've heard probably the saying of let go and let God, right? Well, guess what? The let go and let God, that's action, right? That means I have to take action. I can't just talk about, oh, I'm gonna let it go, I'm gonna give it to God, No. That takes action on my part as well. I have to say to myself, okay, Lord, I have to let go of fill in the blank in order for me to see results, right? Uh, I have to let go. I have to release. I have to cry it out sometimes. I have to acknowledge that this isn't working for me anymore, or I'm no longer growing with this person, or what, this behavior, or this way, the way I'm spending money isn't working for me anymore. It could be anything that y'all want to fill in the blank with. Okay, I just know that for myself, until I really look at that stuff and say, okay, I'm going to take an action to let it go, then I'm going to release it to God, which in turn for me means surrender, letting go of it. And in turn, I get to have my load lightened, right? I'm no longer the bag lady holding on to all these bags, carrying this stuff with me and bringing them into new situations, whether it be people, places, or things, or new job, new relationship, anything that new that I'm ready to receive. I can't bring that stuff with me. Okay. And it's not to say, guess what? And there's another thing, y'all. So, you know, I'm also learning that sometimes if I still have this load on me and I'm still practicing self forgiveness, it's okay not to enter into a certain new thing. Maybe it's just simply my time to go through that bag and say, okay, this doesn't belong here anymore. Let me go, let go of that. Oh, let me turn the page on this, and really look at my stuff. But again, self forgiveness is the end result. That's the aim for me. And sometimes, y'all, like I said, I know when I haven't forgiven myself about something because it reappears in my life and I feel like this about myself. And I realize that I am my worst critic. Like I beat myself up about it, and it's not worth it. It's not worth it, because the way I treat myself, in turn, other people will treat me that way, and sometimes it's not intentionally. It's just if people see me treating myself a certain way, people reciprocate that, and it's like they don't even know what they're doing at the time. So I can't be mad at them. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, dang it, here we go again, right? But anyway, so I just wanted to share that. Let go and let God. That's an action thing. The coulda, shoulda, woulda is I wish I had done this. No, it doesn't matter. And I had an example written down of. I'm gonna go back to my past with alcoholism. I obviously had experienced a lot of consequences for my drinking, right? And there was a point in time where I had to start looking for a job. Basically, this is like the fast forward version of my story. It's just a little snippet, but it got to the point where I had to look for a job, right? And I had just received my last alcohol related incident. I was on my license was suspended. I mean, it was all kinds of crazy stuff going on, but I still needed a job. And so I want to say about 3 months. Yeah, 3 months after that incident, I was like, okay, well, let me start putting in resumes. Let me start putting in applications, and let me start doing this, that, and the third. Let me see who will hire me in spite of my past, right? And so every time I got a no in response to a job opportunity or following up on a position, I beat myself up about it. Like, oh, no wonder they won't hire me because fill in the blank. Or if I hadn't had that DUI, then fill in the blank. If I hadn't been a drunk, then maybe fill in the blank. So I was still constantly beating myself up. But guess what? The things I'm thinking about myself, guess what? I'm going to receive that. It's going to come back to me, and I don't want that. And eventually, one day, I finally said, you know what? I am who I am. I'm doing my best right now. And at the time, like I said, I was only a few months sober, and I was doing my absolute best to do what I had to do to let go and let God, right? And my sponsor at the time, she had mentioned, okay, when you go into these interviews, every step, let go and let God, let go and let God. Because I was trying my best to be like, okay, I have to have this job, or I have to impress them. And you know what? In the end, I learned that when I finally got that yes, it was really because I was straight up about who I am, what I'm doing, what I'm trying to achieve in my life. Yes, I accept my past. Will you? I mean, it was just like those kind of things. And not to say like, oh, I immediately jumped from nothing to a high paying position or some leadership position. No, it took baby steps to climb up that little ladder, right? But my point is, it takes time to self forgive and take action, and then say, in the end, I'm okay. No matter what, I'm okay with who I am. Yes, I made some missteps, but I tell folks all the time. Well, I try to tell myself rather that life is a trial. It's a trial. Like, you go, okay, let me try this out. Okay, that didn't work. Let me go here. Okay, that didn't work either. Let me try this again. Just like the journaling. Like I said, sometimes I'm hard headed on some topics. I'll admit on that. I'll admit I'm hard headed in some areas of my life. However, I keep trying. And that's what I'm here just basically to encourage you to do the same. Keep trying, self forgive, work on yourself, consider personal growth, spiritual growth. And it's easy, I'm saying for myself, it's easy for me to push those things behind me and say, okay, well, whatever. But there will be another opportunity in my life that will force me to look at some things that I decided I don't want to look at that right now. This it's not worth looking at. And in all actuality, it's time to look at it, and it's time for me to self-forgive, lighten the load, let go, and no longer be that bag lady holding on to stuff that's going to affect new beginnings and new journeys, right? So, yeah. But anyway, so I guess the end result I need to say is like when I finally got that yes, I felt elation, I felt joy, I felt like, okay, it's okay, it's trial and error. Life is trial and error. It's all about trying new things and saying, hey, that didn't work. That's cool. I probably just said that. Yeah, I think I did. But anyway, my point is keep trying. Forgive yourself, because in the end, you don't forgive yourself, who else will? Right? Who else will? I guess that really gives permission for people, for everybody. I guess it doesn't really matter if other people forgive you, right? Let me think about that for a minute. What do y'all think? I'm thinking, if I forgive myself what I've done, does it really matter what other people think? I guess I just answered my question. What do y'all think? If you forgive yourself for an act or a certain behavior or a response or retaliation that you did, or something from your past, whatever it may be, do you think that it matters more for you to forgive yourself or for others to forgive you, or the impression of what other people think of you? Does that matter more? I personally don't think so. It took some time for me to realize that. And sometimes in some areas of my life, it's easier said than done. I'll say that for myself. But I want to know your thoughts. Okay. Okay, so I guess that's about it, boys and girls. I just wanted to touch on self forgiveness. Yes, it's a broader, it's a very broad topic. I'm trying not to narrow in on certain areas, like I said, romance, finance, friendships. I'm trying not to go there. I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and tackle that on your own in terms of what you want to look at within your own lives, and go from there. So, um, what helps me aside from journaling in terms of self forgiveness is reading self development books. Obviously writing, speaking to very close friends and family. And when I speak of that, I mean trusted family friends. Okay. And when I say by trusted family and friends, I mean those people that you know that will come to you and speak truth. They're not worried about hurting feelings and all that stuff. They know you at your core. They know you as a person. They know of not only your good intentions, but they also know of everything else about you. The good, the not so good. And I say quote unquote because I don't think there's really a good and bad in terms of who we are created to be and who we are becoming. Again, feel free to visit the website, elorasong.com. Plenty of stuff. Got a new look on the website. I'm really excited and happy and proud of myself for finally finishing the project. So anyway, check it out in your spare time. And other than that, boys and girls, I wish you happiness, joy, prosperity, and most importantly, love. All things freely given by God. Until next time, deuces.